In about 1948, our only mode of transportation when I grew up, by the way, I grew up 30 miles north of Ottawa, Ontario, up in Quebec, in Farrelton, Quebec. And as I said, our mode of transportation in 1948 was a team of horses and a buggy. But in 1948, things started really changing. After the war, actually, in 45, things were really changing. You would get maybe $3 or $4 for a 2-year-old steer in the 30s, where you get 50 in the 48 or 49. There was cattle buyers came around to the farms, and they bought the cattle. They'd go to the field and with the farmer, and they'd figure out how much they're going to pay, and then they'd bring the cattle in and load them on the truck, take them to the packers. My dad sold some cattle to the cattle buyer. After he had the cattle loaded, he came into the house, changed his clothes, and got into the truck with the cattle buyer and went to town. And this is what he was doing in town. Let me take you back to 48. That's when we went up to date. Dad went to town and came home with a truck. She was a 36 with wire spokes, put us right up there with other folks, and off that buggy seat where we were stuck. That old truck was a dark blue dream that took the place of that tired old team that hauled us in the buggy in our Sunday best. Now they might hear us blow the horn as we pass the barn on a Sunday morn, stand in their stall and take a well-earned rest. Dad got some boards and built a rack so we could stand up in the back. His hands were full trying to figure out the gears. He'd find one that he hoped was right. The 36 would jump, we'd hold on tight, laugh until our eyes would fill with tears. The world came alive for us to see. We even learned some history. On Sundays out for those rides we go. We saw the house beside the lake where Mom was born in 98 and Grandpa settled 100 years ago. We rode the ride that ran beside the haunted house with the ghost inside as the big old cloud of dust rolled up behind. We couldn't believe how much there was. We were just amazed. That's because the 36 had a gear the old team could never find. That old truck never let us down on Wednesdays as we drove around on gravel roads, winding through the trees. Till at last it got old and to another it was sold. Thanks 36 for all those memories.